You should know this. This is what will make narcissists miserable and desperate when dealing with you. Another episode of The Narcissist and Karma has begun. If you want to permanently stop the narcissist's behavior, this video is for you. Some truly massive truth bombs will not only decapitate the narcissist, but also their flying monkeys and small minions. It is wonderful to see you again. It is a pleasure to have you return to my channel. If you have never watched anything on my channel, you're in for a real treat. If this is your first visit, you can be alerted whenever we post a new video by subscribing to our channel and activating the bell icon. This being the case, let's discuss the kinds of things we could tell a narcissist that would finally break them. However, what I'm about to say may not be applicable to everyone or all situations. It's good practice to keep your toolbox well stocked at all times. The tone of voice is just as significant as the words themselves. Remember that the energy you bring into a conversation with a narcissist can have a significant impact on the outcome. To be more precise, this is literally everything that exists. Maintain composure and an air of dispassionate indifference whenever possible. No matter who the narcissist claims to be, the conversation should be handled as if it were a business transaction. It is strictly prohibited to use sarcasm, contempt, or any other form of low-class insult. And do not give them any reason to believe that your response to their provocation will be violent. Ever. You will hide your feelings and show no reaction when around the narcissist. Consider anything that seems illogical at first glance. Neither attempting to satisfy this person's demands nor arguing with them is a good use of your time. When interacting with a toxic person, such as a narcissist, remember that you are conversing with an immature adult. The truth is that you're dealing with an emotionally scarred adult child who thinks only of themselves and their own needs. The type of person you will face here is someone who will go out of their way to provoke, manipulate, harm, and get their way, as well as change the perspectives of others and control and manipulate results in order to get their way and win the right fight. They will also attempt to influence the opinions and outcomes of others in order to achieve their goals. And if they are truly enraged and determined to exact revenge, they will use any means possible to destroy you. Again, when it comes to achieving their objectives, they will say or do anything. By being aware of this beforehand, you can take care of yourself as you see fit. We can assume that narcissists are not morally consistent due to their inability to empathize with others and lack of conscience. They'll take it to lengths you, and I can't even fathom, in order to prove their hero or victim status. Sadly, they are never even partially held responsible for the consequences of their terrible demeanor and actions. To make their warped worldviews seem more reasonable, these people will rewrite history and invent their own stories. They leave out crucial details of the truth while intentionally misleading their customers. Narcissists are so inwardly focused that even if you approach them with all the love in the world, they won't be affected by your empathic nature. If someone is a narcissist, no amount of empathy, kindness, caring, or compassion on your part will make a difference in how they act. You're wasting your time if you expect to learn anything from them about how to be patient, persistent, or effective in your communication. We can safely say that it will fail. A narcissist will not be remotely interested in anything you discuss in a conversation with a normal, healthy person. Forget it and toss it all. What you're doing now is the exact opposite of what you want to accomplish. What I mean by counterintuitive is what you have to do to disable them. And it is as follows. It's imperative that you keep a stern face and appear completely emotionless and disinterested. When trying to get your point across, it helps to use words and phrases that are easy to understand and follow. I'd use that as an example. Sorry, but we can't accept at this time. I wish I could be of service, but I simply cannot. No, you can't do that. I refuse to do as you say. I'm not the least bit interested in what you have to say. That is to say, the word no can stand on its own as a complete thought. After you've said that, you've pretty much said it all. Simply respond, I've addressed your question, if the narcissist persists in pushing the issue. Stop talking right now. There is absolutely no wiggle room in this. This is not a debatable point. It stands to reason that you will need some acclimation time if this is something brand new for you. More training is needed for you. If you want to permanently shut down the narcissist, you need to get used to presenting facts without attaching any emotion to what you're talking about or displaying high voltage energy intensity. Remember that you want to sound as dispassionate and impartial as possible when you speak. Stop talking off at that point. In order to cope with the unsettling sensation of total silence, you should allow yourself time to adjust. For instance, after giving a negative answer, pausing to breathe deeply can help. Give the awkward situation its due importance. When you have finished communicating your point orally, it's best to let silence do its work for a moment. All that's needed is a moment to collect yourself and a few deep breaths. Constantly practice firm self-control. And remember that your role here is merely to serve as a conduit for the information. Since this is a business deal, nobody is feeling anything. You could also respond with something like, "I get what you're saying." Or you could say that I'm listening to you. If anything changes, you can count on me to let you know. My response to your inquiry is imminent. Okay, I'm going to investigate further. I'm going to have to think about that. On the other hand, a flat line could work as well. There is no irony here at all. A pause is appropriate after a clear and concise statement. The best way to handle a toxic narcissist is to stay calm and not engage with them. Learn the ins and outs of this and how it can benefit you. Once you're used to the silence, you'll see that it has far more impact than any words could ever have. You should learn how to use this to your advantage, particularly if you're dealing with a destructive narcissist. To rephrase, we consistently aim for maximum clarity in our written and verbal exchanges. This will show that you have no power over me and that I am not subject to your whims and fancies. There's a sense that you only want to show up when it's absolutely necessary. The narcissist who mistakenly thinks it's a good idea to target you will find the silence that ensues after you've made your point crystal clear to be more unnerving than anything else. The word awesome can be used interchangeably, but you should keep in mind that it is not always appropriate or helpful. If you think it's right, then by all means do it. I have no problem with that at all. Not that it worries me at all. After that, there was complete silence. Let the outcome be decided by a coin flip. It's also possible to argue your case by saying something to the effect of "No, that's not going to happen," or a similar phrase. They will get the point this way. They will begin to disintegrate when the narcissist realizes they no longer have power over you. This is the only strategy for getting rid of a narcissist for good. If you start acting and talking in this manner, with an attitude and posture that says, "I don't care what you think or feel," they'll have to move on to someone else to annoy. When all is said and done, tranquility will be your master. Narcissists are notoriously argumentative, making it difficult to strike up a conversation with them. In the early stages of idealization, when they are trying to sway you through love bombing, they are most convincing because they are praising the best qualities of your character. After the initial excitement of a new relationship has worn off, both partners will begin to act more like their true selves. You'll see that their natural inclination and instant reaction to anything you say is to disagree with it. Narcissists frequently respond with, "I disagree." You could easily respond, "You couldn't possibly disagree more. You just wish it was false." There was complete silence after that. The other option is to ask them to repeat what they just said. You've come up with a great plan to deal with their irrational and dishonest behavior. Remain calm and politely request a repetition of the instruction. They need to hear what they are saying for themselves if they insist on saying it. Most of the time, all it takes to prove someone is dishonest is for them to make a claim that turns out to be completely false. Say, if it doesn't work for you, consider whether you will still be able to hear yourself talk. In light of what you've just said, you should probably pause for a second and consider it. That's okay this once, but don't make it a habit. Maintain absolute silence after that. What you said just made them confront the irrationality and even callousness that they harbor within. Additionally, you provide them with an opportunity to make amends for their actions. If they break the rules or are disrespectful to other players or the game master 10 times, tell them they will be removed from the game. They understand the severity of the threat. It is common for narcissists to back down or concede the point when presented with this kind of evidence. To succeed, you should focus on being as concise and clear as possible while presenting your ideas. Stay calm and collect your thoughts at all times. No emotional outbursts are expected to occur. Please don't feel like you have to justify your actions. You'll receive no justification or leniency for your actions. Period. Maintain a cold demeanor and a stony expression at all times. Lie back and take a deep breath to calm down. Asking a narcissist directly, "Are you okay?" is an effective way to get their attention where they are being overly critical or defensive. There is no doubt that you will get a hostile reaction. Finally, say "let me know," and if you want. If you think it's fine the way it is, don't change a thing. And then there won't be any more anywhere in the world. Our argument has been proven. I'm at a loss for words here. It's a public admission that you're keeping a record of the other party's behavior. You can't exclude this unless your audience consists entirely of idiots. We are unable to complete the transmission at this time. You already know that narcissists have no sense of discretion, no boundaries, and a penchant for spreading rumors that harm others. Despite their outwardly confident demeanor, narcissists actually suffer from deep-seated feelings of inadequacy. Conversely, people who are insecure are preoccupied with learning as much as they can about others, regardless of how inaccurate the information may be. When discussing private or unpleasant aspects of another person's life, it is acceptable to say, "That's none of my business." It is strongly suggested that you keep that information to yourself at this time. Let the ensuing silence finish its work for the second time. Send this information to as many people as you can. Sometimes a narcissist will use direct language, such as, "That is intriguing," where they are being aggressive. Or, "I totally get why this would make you mad." Here, the decision relies solely on your own discretion. I can't make you believe anything, and your belief is entirely independent of my will. It's worth considering, if not admitting outright. Just say, "When you're in a better state of mind, we can talk," and then drop the subject. If that happens, you should leave. You could also try saying, "Let's just call it quits now before things get worse," or something to that effect. Keep on leaving. Escape the place and the trouble you're in. Period. That wraps up our talk for now. Boom! In other words, it's very simple to operate. These are some suggestions for what to say to the sympathetic members of the narcissist's entourage. You will know exactly who I am talking about if you have ever been the victim of narcissistic abuse. If a narcissist acts compassionately toward you, rather than just saying so, you should praise them for it and encourage them to continue the behavior. Use a phrase like, "To put it bluntly, you had zero bearing on the decisions. I make that directly affect my physical and mental well-being. Notwithstanding, I appreciate your help." As a result, there was a prolonged period of silence after that. Absolutely no further comment. You can also choose to respond by saying, "Just as I said before, I have zero desire to further discuss this issue with you. Please give me some room. It will be much appreciated." Or, "I don't know what to say to you," or silence are also acceptable responses. There is absolutely no wiggle room in this. It's important to speak your piece with self-respect and dignity, and in a manner that is objective, businesslike, unemotional, flatline, clear, and concise. Narcissists quickly grasp the gravity of their predicament. If possible, you should also exercise these methods in less important settings. Because of this, you can deliver your message with assurance even when the stakes are high. It seems like we've covered enough ground for today. I really hope you learned something from this video. You can leave your thoughts in the comments section if you have anything to add. Keeping up with our videos is as easy as subscribing and turning on the bell. All of this is greatly appreciated.
Well, hello YouTube. Welcome to the Narcissist and Karma channel. As usual, we will explain a little about the conclusion of the video that we have already listened to. So, keep watching the video until it runs out, guys. If you want to permanently stop the narcissist behavior, this video is for you. Maintain composure and an air of dispassionate indifference whenever possible. Don't use sarcasm, contempt, or any other form of low-class insult. If someone is a narcissist, no amount of empathy, kindness, caring, or compassion on your part will make a difference in how they act. A narcissist will not be remotely interested in anything you discuss in a conversation with a normal, healthy person. To make their worldview seem more reasonable, these people will rewrite history and invent their own stories. When dealing with a narcissist, you need to get used to presenting facts without attaching any emotion to what you're talking about or displaying high voltage energy intensity. After you've said that, you've pretty much said it all. There is absolutely no wiggle room in this. This is not a debatable point. If you're dealing with a destructive narcissist, you should learn how to use this to your advantage. The silence that ensues after you make your point crystal clear can be more unnerving than anything else. When the narcissists realize they no longer have power over you, they will begin to disintegrate. When all is said and done, tranquility will be your master. Narcissists are notoriously argumentative, making it difficult to strike up a conversation with them. Keep calm and politely ask them to repeat what they just said. Asking a narcissist directly, "Are you okay?" is an effective way to get their attention when they are being overly critical or defensive. Maintain a calm demeanor and a stern expression at all times. Send this information to as many people as you can. If a narcissist acts compassionately towards you, rather than just saying so, you should praise them for it. You could also try saying, "Let's just call it quits now before things get worse," or something to that effect. In other words, it's very simple to operate. If you're a narcissist, you might want to say, "Just as I said before, I have zero desire to further discuss this issue with you. Please give some room. It will be much appreciated," or "I don't know what to say to you," or silence are also acceptable responses. There is absolutely no wiggle room in this. You should exercise these methods in less important settings because of this ability to deliver your message with assurance and assurance. So, what do you think of this video? Please write your experience in the comment section below. Don't forget to click the subscribe button and activate the bell button, so you know the latest information from us. Okay, have a nice day. See ya.